All right, I'm starting at the hay bucket, but only because it is just torrential downpour out here. And nobody wants to be outside. It's windy. Look at the wind. Can you catch the trees? Miss Olive is outside. Ladybug is here, but that's because I just gave her her bottle and she's expecting more. Denali is locked outside while the older girls eat their grain because she's on a serious diet. And yes, we truly are serious about her diet. She is not happy about it, but she's going to lose some weight this summer. And that means that we do not allow her any grain, any hay stretcher, any supplement in that sense. She doesn't need it nutritionally. She has hay, she has grass, so she's fine in that sense. And that is unfortunately the stuff that packed the pounds on for her because we thought she was pregnant. And she let us believe she was getting big because she was pregnant, not because she was getting fat. So she's not real happy about the fact, I know, that she can't have grain, and she sort of stands at the door here, mad. Lotus this time was a little slow to get to it. Lotus is not hurting for anything, so I'm not concerned that she was locked out. And I think we've talked about, but I haven't mentioned it recently, Lotus has a hematoma in her ear, which is why her head looks totally goofy. Now she's going to turn it. She's embarrassed about it. It probably came from sparring with Denali, and they were really the two of age does that didn't get pregnant this year. So they were with the two older girls, or my two older ladies, for most of the early, late winter, early spring. So really from end of February, March, April, May, right, to just about now when we've started to move mamas back in, it really has just been Denali and Lotus, and that's not their normal herd. So, and the older ladies are older, so they're not going to necessarily take the time to mediate disputes, let's put it that way. So I'm pretty sure what happened is Denali and Lotus had a little dispute. They bashed some heads, her ear got bruised, and now a hematoma formed. So we could, and obviously, if you remember, I just had my annual vet visit, so it's not like she hasn't been checked out. We could lance it. What happens with lancing is it lets all that blood drain out, and it lets the ear not be swollen anymore, and therefore it shouldn't be floppy anymore and all bent over like it looks right now. But at the same time, it creates an open wound, and we're reaching the point of the year where you really don't want open wounds. Everybody's right here in my face. These guys are still eating. Uh-oh, Voodoo fainted. I just rolled in, and there he was laying on the floor with his feet up in the air, doofus. And now nothing happened to him. Look, he's right back to eating. Nothing happened to him. He's perfectly fine. Something got him excited, I guess, and poof, he rolled over. Anyway, I know I didn't catch all of that on video, but that was pretty funny. So hematomas. So you don't want an open wound at this time of the year, right? This is the time of the year where we have flies, we have bugs, we have other things, and an open wound with bugs that, you can't bandage, right? There's just nothing to bandage. You can't. Yes, you could wrap the ear fully in vet wrap, but then you're preventing it from getting air and you're preventing it from healing. And it's, you really need it to have the ability to heal. So you could use Manuka honey and other wound care and wound dressing, but that attracts bugs even further because it's sweet. So it's a no-win situation. And the risk of leaving it alone and not lancing it there's two things. There's two risks, really. One is it takes longer to heal. It's not bothering her. It doesn't hurt. It's just a buildup of fluid in the ear. And two is it could potentially not allow the ear to heal and become fully erect again because it's going to stay in this folded position for a longer period of time. That's entirely possible. And of course, if that's the case and she gets a floppy ear, it theoretically disqualifies her from being perfection in the show ring. But we've already decided to retire her, right? We've already decided that she has had her adventures. She's, kind of aged out of the competition. And so at this point, if her ear is floppy, it just makes her cuter. That's my opinion anyway. It just makes her cuter. And she is cute. She's a little dopey. She's a little vapid, but she's cute. So we'll be monitoring it, of course, and, should something happen, we will address it. But surgical intervention for something like this, where the body will reabsorb the fluid as it heals, is just not something that I'm willing to do at this time. I mean, frankly, I'm not willing to do it at any time of the year, but it's certainly something that we don't want to invite in the summertime if it's not necessary. So it's not medically necessary. It's not going to happen. Meanwhile, in other news, I get to keep my little Joker for a little bit longer. He was supposed to go home last night, and I know his new family is super disappointed, but as I mentioned, we've got these terrible storms rolling through the area, and they were unfortunately impacted with some devastating damage. And, that has to be addressed first, right? Family, health, safety, all of that comes first. And that works out okay because our other little man, Misty's boy, isn't going home until next weekend. So they have someone to pal around with. It means I can leave Voodoo and Ladybug in with the babies a little bit longer, because really, once those two boys, my little guy, JC's little boy, and Misty's little boy, go home, Voodoo and Ladybug have to become big boys and girls, right? Voodoo has to go in with the big bucks, and Ladybug has to go in with the big girls. So an extra week and a half of that type of support, where they're in the baby pen and they can do what they want to do, and they can be goofy and stand on their hind legs and faint and not get run over. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not complaining. Plus, I don't mind having them for a little bit longer because I love them. Meanwhile, I also got a bunch of updates. Super happy to hear that everybody's adjusting well. All the babies that have gone home seem to be just thrilled in their new place. And, they're in for the most part, they're in smaller herds. They're beloved family pets. They're going to be 4-H animals, so they're learning how to walk on leashes. They're learning how to be handled by their new young handlers. I mean, it's just such an exciting time, and I love to see the updates and get news from everybody on that. So super happy about all of that. Even sent a duck home yesterday and got an update on the duck. He was going home as a companion for a duck that lost his friend. So I was so happy I could, pull a duck from my breeding flock, because I don't have any ducks available. We hatch on demand, as you see. So I was happy that I had an extra drake, an extra young boy. Oh, JC, that was not very nice. She has to learn to deal with that, though, guys. So, she'll push back. She's just littler right now. That's the only reason JC's able to get at her. If she were a little bit bigger, she'd push back just fine. Anyway, so I was able to pull a young drake from our breeding flock and fix that problem so that all the ducks in our area have companions. Got an update of the two of them. Everybody's really happy. So awesome. And yeah, I mean, this weather is crazy. The wind is ripping. It's been torrential downpour. I know Denali's yelling now because she's about done being punished by being outside. It's been absolute torrential downpour all night long, all morning long, and we're expecting another couple of hours. Now, our ground is pretty parched, so most of this is absorbing, thankfully. But the animals are inside, right? They are not having it, which means I have so many stalls to re-clean. I cleaned stalls yesterday. And because they spent most of the night inside and they're going to spend most of the day inside, I'm going to have to re-clean the stalls again, either tonight or tomorrow, which is, yay, holiday weekend, more stall cleaning. But what are you going to do? That's part of it. But I did walk the property quickly, and I don't see any down trees, which a lot of people are dealing with. We've had some power blips, so there's down trees in the area that have probably taken out a couple of wires, but thankfully I don't see anything on this property. I have not walked the woods, so there might be some stuff down in the woods. But if you followed last summer, you know that we maintain our woods pretty naturally. So if a tree falls in the woods and nobody sees it, but we walk it to, maintain. We do have a woodlands management plan with the state, and so I do need to go take a walk through and see what the winter has done. We do have logging trails that we need to maintain. We don't log, of course, that's just what they're called, but we need to maintain them so that we have access and can maintain the woods and keep this natural environment. So I think at this point, we're going to cut it here because I still have to get hay to the big boys and the big girls, and then I can get back to the house. And today feels like a really good soap making day, and I am soap making for the holidays already. So my holiday designs are about to be created. Fingers crossed they work out. All right, guys, until next time, there's work to be done. Bye for now.